July 11th, 2023, journal entry number 8. I was listening to Pandora recently and had instant flashbacks when I heard some specific songs. Isn't it funny how the mind works though? Like a smell or song can bring back, such memories. This story dates back to years ago, back when Nickelodeon aired new episodes of iCarly, Victorious, and Big Time Rush on the same night. Also, back when those shows were still on the air. So good. Now, the song I heard on Pandora was a BTR song, by the way. That's how this memory was triggered. It was some random Saturday night, and I had been at Nick's house all day. His parents had invited some of their friends over for a mini party of sorts. Both of Nick's sisters invited friends over, and he invited some other friends over too. So yeah, a full-on party then, I guess, since there were way more than 8 people over at one given time. Isn't that the party rule? 8 or more people gathering together is a party. I think that's what I read somewhere. Now, I was going to sleep over this particular night, so I made sure to hide my backpack so none of Nick's sisters would steal my clothes, as they love to do for some reason. We kids all played some intense games of freeze tag that afternoon in their front yard, which was awesome, and we all could not wait for those new episodes of iCarly, Victorious, and Big Time Rush. We all made sure to sit in Nick's room, all clustered together to watch the first show. I can't remember the order of what aired first and such, but I do remember laughing our butts off the entire 90 minutes of programming that night. Victorious and Big Time Rush were music-based shows in general, and I remember all of us bopping around the room when the new songs started playing on the episode. But the real kicker of the night was that particular iCarly episode that aired. I can't remember the name of the episode or the actual plot of it either, but I do remember that there were many running jokes, specifically about guacamole and someone putting their tortilla in the other's guac. And we were dying, or at least that was the running joke that we interpreted. Whether the writers intended the joke to be sexual in nature, to fly right over the younger kids' heads or not, is still to be said. But let me tell you, bro, us bigger kids got that joke and could not stop laughing. So, naturally, us boys, who are enamored with innuendos and fart jokes, got out the Sharpies and started drawing tortilla chips on each other's forearms along with bowls of guacamole. It was the funniest thing. The younger kids didn't understand why putting your tortilla in my guac or vice versa was so hilarious, and of course we didn't explain it to them, but yeah, so funny. The rest of the night involved games and a movie or two, I think more so for background noise than to actually watch it, but every time some adult asked us why the boys had chips and dip drawn on our arms, we just said, it's an iCarly thing, don't worry about it. They didn't think much about it since they were sort of familiar with the kids' pop culture at that particular early 2010s time frame, but yeah, fun day, fun night. The sleepover part of that night, the sleepover part of that overnight adventure, there you go, with Nick, involved all of us crashing in their basement. It was me, Nick, his 2 sisters, and 2 of their friends as well. It was funny having all of us sprawled out, just enjoying the randomness of one another. Yeah, big age differences across the board, but it was just like camp. All ages, all races, just enjoying one another's company. Communally. I think that's a good word for it. Yeah. That morning, we all ate breakfast, and Nick and I decided to go on our own adventure by walking around his neighborhood, still displaying our tortilla and guac forearm drawings with pride. We strolled down his block on that beautiful spring day and hooked a right past this utility road by the big power lines. There was a woods in the back that spread across a good walk. Rumor has it, that area used to be a go-karting site because there were very, very old and crumbling cement tracks in the woods that we used as paths. Once we got to this little section with old lawn chairs and an old broken cooler that were left behind by others, we sat down and chilled. Last night was fun, I said after a deep breath of fresh air. Oh, hell yeah it was, Nick laughed. What do you think about getting these chips and dip tattooed one day? I smirked, absolutely. That never happened. So, what was up with your mom last night? I asked. I've never seen her drink that much before. I don't know, man, he replied. I'm starting to notice it more and more, though. I could sense he didn't want to talk about it. You want to climb a tree or something? I smirked. Let's do it, Nick laughed. That's another thing about Nick and me. We always loved to climb things. Trees, playgrounds, hop fences, and whatnot. It was always a fun thing to do together. It was always fun if we were doing a follow the leader kind of thing where we'd both take turns at a park testing each other's limits. That's why Nick and I are great together. We're there for one another and test each other's strengths and weaknesses to jointly improve on. We found this old and massive oak tree buried in the woods off the trail and took our time with finding our footing to climb all the way up as far as we could, safely. I think we were maybe 30 or 40 feet up in the air. Who can tell, really, with depth perception being disoriented. Let's just say 35 feet up we climbed. We just took a breather at the top and looked out at the highway next to the woods. We didn't take any pictures. We didn't talk for a few seconds. We just took it all in. It was a pretty great moment. And obviously, so, if I'm remembering it all these years later, when we got back down to the ground, we decided to walk the rest of the path out to the road. I have a weird craving for gummy bears, I said. That's random, Nick laughed. But yeah, candy sounds good right about now. We walked to the nearest corner store. I got gummy bears. Nick got this chocolate peanut butter candy bar they sadly don't make anymore. And we then started to stroll north on that main road in his town. Nick and I decided to sit down on the curb to finish our candy as we watched the cars go by. At one point, I started to look at the remainder of my gummy bears and had this brilliant idea. Watch this, I shouted. I took out a green and red bear from my pouch, put them on the sidewalk, began humming some random tune, and was pretending that my gummy bears were dancing together at a ball. You're a crazy person, Nick laughed at me. You know that? So, what did Nick do? He takes the red gummy bear and makes it dance along with my green one, right on the sidewalk, in broad daylight, as numerous people stared at us as they walked by. Once I ended the song, we placed them gingerly down to take a picture because it was just too funny of a moment to pass up for a pic. The conversation about our favorite victorious moments began as we left the gummy bears to please the masses. Our conversation ended with the two of us singing some Big Time Rush, in harmony, mind you, as we got to the park that was in back of his town's library. There were a few kids playing soccer and a mom pushing her toddler in the swings, and no one was on the playground. Naturally, I playfully pushed Nick aside to beat him to the slide to climb up to start a game of Follow the Leader, Don't Touch the Ground. Fiddle did take. Follow the leader, don't touch the ground. But that bastard beat me to the slide and won the leader title for the game. Such a jerk face. Now, the playground was a nice size, right between small size and medium. A small medium, if you. 2 slides, a few platforms, some ladder things, a fireman's pole, and some attached monkey bars. One of my top 2 favorite playgrounds still to this day. I mean, I haven't been to one in years, but back when we used to climb playgrounds a lot, that was a good one. For sure. Nick took us counterclockwise around the whole perimeter. He led the climbing around everything quite effortlessly. He finished his lead with a pendulum swing off the monkey bars and landed on both feet at the same time. I did the same. We gave each other a cheesy high five, and it was my turn to lead. We started the climb at the same beginning as Nick chose, at the base of the larger slide, and I took us clockwise this time. No one fell, no one got hurt, surprisingly, and it was a solid workout for the both of us. My turn leading ended with us having to do a stalefish off of the slide we started on, which is a skateboard trick usually done in a bowl or for vert tricks and such. But to do it as a jump trick, basically jump off something, your feet go together kind of behind you and to your right, while your right hand is holding them very briefly. So knees bent to the right, feet up to your right hip kinda, with your right hand grabbing onto your feet/shoes. Stalefish on land. Basically. We were getting tired. We climbed a tree and did 2 obstacle courses, basically. So we called it and started our trek back to Nick's house. I got picked up around dinner time that evening because I wasn't driving then. And yeah, such a glorious 2 days of fun. Such a great story stemming from hearing a Big Time Rush song on Pandora recently. Memories are quite amusing, to be honest. Haikus. 176. Watering the plants. What are these darn bugs doing? Forget them and death. 177. Pigs and aliens, slinky dogs and dinosaurs, spacemen and Cowboys. 178. Experiments crash. Hawaiian Disaster Zone. Blue Dog Ohana. 179. Tale as old as time. A beauty visits a beast. Clocks and candles sing. 180. Rub the magic lamp. 3 wishes can help us all. Be a prince for love. 181. You have a big mouth. Nonsense just spews constantly. Shut the F up, Jake. 182. How about we dance? How about we dance on the moon? No music in space. 183. Yo, what the hell? What's up with this chocolate milk? It's spoiled and gross. 184. Alcohol in blood. Centuries-old vampires. Brothers till the end. 185. Holy effing balls. This werewolf teenager rules. Alpha and his pack. 186. Stupid idiots. Never knowing when to stop. Wasting all my time. 187. Horses are freaky. They're too big and they smell bad. Creepy butt chompers. 188. Time to smack that butt because there's a bug on it. Don't want to die now. 189. Are you eating soup or do you just drink some soup? A predicament. 190. Felt puppets on hands. Puppetry marionettes. Decades of good times. 191. Glitter in a lamp. Glowing and shining always. Light bulbs will burn out. 192. Waterfall down neck. Diamonds twinkling all around. Necklaces are cool. 193. Who the F are you? You have experience here? No. So keep quiet. 194. Neon checkerboard. A dance floor will never fail. Party hard, my friend. 195. 4 knives on a glove. A burn victim's pure revenge. Do not fall asleep. 196. Metal fused to bone. Regenerating body. 3 blades on each hand. 197. What is that bad smell? It's like something died in here. Did you just fart, Rob? 198. Poseidon surfing. Controlling all the seas. Sand and waves for days. 199. Do not be afraid, for I am the light in you. Ha! F that horse poop. 200. Salmonella kills. But why isn't it salmon? Chicken germs are weird.